Hello and welcome everyone. Sorry for the delay because we were having technical difficulties just now. So once again, I just want to welcome everybody to the how to get ready for the new norm virtual event. And we are very delighted that you are here with us today to join us. So today we have our guest of honor, Dr. Engineer Chong Hong Len, President of Federation of Sabah Industries, joining us, as well as many individuals and companies that are interested in learning about how to get ready for the new norm or even the next norm. So please enjoy the event. You can use the chat function to drop your questions, and also please participate in the poll to give your feedback on this virtual event right at the end of this event. So as a friendly reminder, you are not required to turn on your mics except for the Q&A session later, and you are more than welcome to turn on your video or your camera for the entire event. On that note, before we start the event, I would like to invite everyone to turn on their videos, if that is okay, so we can have a quick group photo. You can just turn your video. Hi there, I see Miss Wendy. Hi everyone. So I will just take the photo because since someone not turning on their video.
Good morning, everybody. Can we get you to turn on? We take 1 minute to do a group photo taking. We apologize for the technical problem this morning. We are actually running 20 minutes late. Yeah, 30 minutes late. But we'll start soon after the group photo session. Yeah. Can we start? Raymond Chu, Tin Yap, Wei Chong, Raymond. We're actually expecting about 40 people, but due to the technical problem, so some people are not coming back. All right. Ying Chu, Ding Yap, and Yin Wei Chong. Can we start now? Okay. Can we have our group photo now?
Okay, so we just proceed with the group photo.
We can do one more later on when Dato is in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So don't forget to smile despite the mask. Okay, everybody smile. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Thank you. Okay, so good morning once again, everybody. And we are truly delighted that you you are able to join us today for this event. And of course, we are expecting our guest of honor for today, Datu Engineer Chong Hon Lim. He will be coming on later. And for now, I would like to invite our first speaker of the day. She is the founder and CEO of V1 Solutions Berhad. She will be sharing especially on how the current COVID-19 pandemic changes everything we do, and also and she has more than 30 years of experience in the build, sell, manage industry. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome our first speaker of the day, Ms. Lydia Bear.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our first online meeting. Can we start now, Danny?
Yes, Ms. Bear.
Roll on to my first slide, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the technical problem this morning. However, I'll be the first speaker and then followed by speaker number 2, and Datuk will do the wrap up, the closing. Okay, now today my presentation overview. My presentation overview is actually to take stock what have changes in our business in the 2020 and looking at what are the new norm, getting ready for the new norm for our business in year 2021. And hopefully I'll leave behind some key takeaway for your consideration. Next. Well, in year 2020 is the year that when everything changed. COVID-19 impacted our business. As you can see on the left-hand side of the chart, we have a reduced customer demand, supply chain disruption, delay in progressing customer government business, distribution channel disruption, and a reduce of investor demand. Now this has been impacted our business one way or another. At the same time, on the right hand side, it also shows us a chart that the consumption, our consumer consumption behavior changed. In June 2020, taking a report out from HSBC, when the whole world locked down, what we observed is online gaming and content increase, domestic travel since people cannot travel overseas, and contactless F&B distribution started, and also there is an online doctor. Nowadays, we can actually log in to an online portal and get consultation instead of going to a clinic. Now there is a shift of this consumer behavior. For me, I've been busy traveling normally between offices and between countries. But luckily, with the support of the internet, I'm still able to run my business remotely and talking to my team from Sabah office here. So thank you to internet and the broadband technology. So today I'm still able to be running my business, talking closely to my team, putting two offices closely together, working as one team. And today I have done something that I never thought that I will be able to do it. I'm a goer in terms of conferencing, but it's always a face-to-face. But today I'm going to invite all of you to come for this video conferencing. It's something that I never thought that it will happen to me. And also the cloud and software is also now the trend. Yeah, and also office space. In the early days, we know that office space is something that we have to share. But today, I just have a sharing for my peers this morning told me that in Singapore, office space are now available in terms of minutes. Now, these are all the consumer behavior change recorded in the Asian country, published by the report in June 2020. Yeah. Next. Now, I would like to bring you to this buzzword, the low-touch economy. These are by the Board of Innovation. Now, what is low-touch economy? In a caption, it means a new state of our society and economy is permanently altered by COVID-19. It is characterized by a low-touch interaction. Health and safety measure, new human behavior, and a permanently industry shift. Now, if you look at the left-hand side of all the pictures, in Singapore, there is this robot that are able to go around the park and like a security guard, and they will be able to sense if the distance stay too close, the physical distancing between two individuals. They will be there to beep you and alert you. So this has replaced a human being. In our F&B business, in most takeaway now is the norm. However, restaurants are still trying to create a safety, comfort, and coziness. So we notice that there are a lot of restaurants are creating this safety zone. Yeah, and on the leftmost is in Belgium, students are wearing bracelets, and whenever they are too close to each other, the beeps will go off. In cinemas, our traditional cinema normally, that's how it look like, and in Taiwan now they actually have to keep 3 seats between two individuals. So at the same time, we see that the drive-in cinema is picking up first, is actually starting to picking up, and so as the online church, and driving in cinema, driving in church. So this is all the shift of our consumer behavior, because people like to keep in their safety zone. They need to keep space among themselves. And we also noted that there are new professionals coming out, such as in salon, where there is high touch between the customer and the service provider. They need to be sanitized between shifts. So a new profession is actually emerged. You are actually able to hire professional crews to disinfect your office or your shop between shifts. And that is also to give a comfort zone to the customer when they come to patronize your business. And we also noted that there is this called virtual wedding. You are able to actually dial in to wish the new couple and join their wedding virtually. This is also similar to today. Instead of coming to the hotel, we run this meeting. Today, I'm able to invite all of you to come in to join me in this online seminar. Yeah. Next. Now, with the low-touch economy, it actually created opportunity for us. Now, we know that every time there is something that is a critical, there is an opportunity. On the right-hand side of the graph, you see that there is this white space and future business. Now, basically, that is what business now are moving. People are start to aware future business and white space. And these are being triggered by the 6 triggers here: industry shift, new regulation, new consumer behavior, societal change, new resources, and new technology. These triggers will actually trigger you to go into the future business. And over here, if you see on this side of the chart, we have an industry shift. Now, I want to quote you an example. In Singapore, there is this so-called dark store. Now, it's actually a centralized kitchen by all the branded kitchen, but they group together. Now this will allow the delivery channel able to pick up from a centralized location and deliver to their customer. So this is an industry shift. But because of this, you know that there's this so-called centralized kitchen. I also want to quote you example in terms of the, we don't go to sports gyms anymore. Instead, spa business pick up the trend. You are able to join a virtual membership and join the virtual training from your home. Yeah, there are so many of them. I will not be able to name every one of them, but at later part of the event, I'm going to share out my chart and you can take it further. Okay, so next. So given the new opportunity in a low touch economy, now we know very well that in another 14 days, it will be the end of year 2020. But statistics tell us that there is a contraction in GDP 2020, especially recorded in Thailand and Hong Kong. There are negative growth. Whereas from Malaysia and Singapore, it was recorded at 0%. However, the good news is there is also an indication of a rebound in 2021. There is an expected record of 6% in Bangladesh, China, Vietnam, and Philippines and India. And in Malaysia, there is more than 5%. Malaysia and Indonesia, more than 5% growth. And manufacturing segment will be the driving force for all this growth. This is recorded, yeah? So ladies and gentlemen, now that we are moving on to 2020, how are we going to get ready for the next normal? How can we prepare our business? Now, I would like to share my perspective. Number one, stay relevant to our customer. Number two, take advantage of the changing nature of work. And number three, digitalization is a must go. Tactical or strategically, yeah, it's a must go now. Because digitalization gives us visuality and clarity. Yeah? So now I want to share you, this is one of the charts shared by our partners too. And taking advantage of a changing nature of work, basically, as I mentioned that I run 2 offices, and now today I can have my 2 offices working closely through Zoom and many ways. So the collaboration is important, flexibility is important if we want to continue to run. Yeah, and not forget that business today, we may not have the luxury keeping a full force of worker permanent basis in our office. So look into the possibility of outsourcing, right sizing and upskilling of your current workforce. And of course, we don't forget that in order to do all this, we will not also forget about the SOP process and make our employee comfortable working in a environment. So these are some of the things we running business, we need to taking advantage of the changing nature of work and how to put things together so that now instead of running between 2 offices, I'm actually sitting in my head office here in Sabah and remotely communicating, putting my office worker working together. Next. As a solution provider in the past 20 over years, we have deployed so many solutions across the region, especially for me now in East Malaysia and also areas that I've been covering, Brunei and also Vietnam. Now, typically when we implementing a traditional ERP solution, the way of approach is very much flexible scope to our customer. We base on the requirement driven and oftentimes it leads to a long implementation cycle, maybe 9 months or more. However, to stay relevant today, we actually come up a fast track. Okay, our partners share with us a fast track. This fast track actually will give us a predefined scope, the template driven, and also a short implementation. So we are talking about a 45 days possibility to get the system up. So we as a technology provider, we also stay relevant, and we want to take care of our customer to bring their system up and live as soon as possible. Next. So what is a key success factor for us as a technology company and also for our customer, and how we translate? Basically able to identify cost-effective and proven solution coupled with a good implementation track record team. That will actually our success formula, and it also is our customer success formula. We want to stay relevant to our customer. Next. These are some of the benefits that you see, but they are not exhaustive. Okay, they are targeted benefits. So those of you that intend to digitize or to revive your technology, look at this benefit, and you should not settle for less. This should be the minimum benefit that you want your company to be able to achieve. And not forget that business and technology foundation now, we must give you a foundation that can benefit from the powerful AI capability. And also with all the data, we need to take care of our privacy and data ownership. With data is available, yeah. Next. So I like to leave behind these three key takeaways with you. As we move on in year 2021, we need to be actually still prepared for the continued uncertainty, and we have to be collaborative with our customer, with our partners, and be creative. And don't forget, digital, it should be at the heart of your company. It's part of your strategy. Whether you do it tactically or strategically, you must have the digital solution in your company. And of course, everything starts with our customer. We must be relevant with our customer, and make it their way of thinking is also our way of thinking, and how we support them and create the success story for them, because they also need to be relevant to their customer, and we as solution technology partners, we also want to be relevant to our customer. So in a nutshell, the word is be responsible. Today we see that there are so many businesses. We talk about the white space. So the white space is something that most businesses want to see, is there an opportunity for them to move there? And also we talk about, what about your current business, that how you're running? If you're running a virtual office, are you able to think of a new way, a business model to support your customer? Instead of charging them on a monthly basis, daily basis, or are you able to charge them hourly, or even go down to minutes? That's what I learned from my peers this morning, that he shared with me that Singapore office are actually doing this kind of business model already. Yeah. So that's all coming from me, and this chart later we will share out with you, and feel free to scan the QR code here and try to connect with us. Yeah, if there's anything that you wish to learn more, because we cannot finish it everything in 10 and 15 minutes, but we can have a session with you. Yeah, if you actually approach us and share us, how can we be relevant to your business? Thank you.
Right, thank you, Ms. Lydia Bear, for the interesting sharing, especially on how the current COVID-19 pandemic changes everything we do, and also for the three takeaways. Once again, big thank you to you, Ms. Bear.
Thank you. Thank you, Justin.
Yes.
So I will mute my mic now.
Next, I would like to invite our second speaker for today, Mr. Eugene Lam. As you can see inside your screen right now, Mr. Eugene is a senior manager at V1 Solutions in Berhad, and he has more than 35 years experience in finance and accounting, as well as in ERP solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us welcome Mr. Eugene to share his insights on digital transformations in this new norm.
Right. Thank you very much, Justin. Justin. Thanks for the kind introductions. All right, I think we're running a little bit short of time, so let's just move on to the slides. All right, the question that comes out on everybody's mind nowadays is this new buzzword called digital transformation. Now, bear in mind that digital transformation, that word has already been around even before this pandemic, right? So, question is why? Why do we go for digital transformation? Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot run away from that. The world is digitizing. How you do your business is changing. Now, with digital, going digital means more efficient information gathering, right? Information, for example, at the press of a button, not even to say the press of a button, that's rather a little bit old actually. By looking at your mobile phone, you'll be able to see how much money I have to spend. Supposing you are interested to buy a piece of land for your new factory, and the real estate agent tells you, all right, down payment is 1.2 million. Straight away, you can look at it and say, yep, I think I can transfer funds from Saudi Arabia, from Berlin. All right, okay, when do you need the money? That's what we're looking at. But that is only one example from the finance. Let's say, for example, you may be in front of a customer, or a customer calls you and say, I need 150 pallets to be delivered next week. Looking again at your mobile phone, your tablet, right? And you'll be able to see, do you have available inventory? Do you have that availability to promise and tell Mr. Customer, you've got it. When can I have your order, right? Delivery next week, right? So information, speed of receiving this information is very, very key to your business. And of course, we're looking into acceleration of business activities with digital transformation. Things are moving at the speed of electrons from one point to another. Let's move on to the next point. Going digital also means progressing towards efficiency. Processing time is shorter. You are looking into reducing, or maybe even in some cases can eliminate your manual intervention. Right? Now, eliminating human intervention, there's also this concept of machine learning, which are new technologies that are really coming up right now. And that's this concept. Why digital transformation? It leads to a competitive advantage, that's needless to say. But sometimes it's because your competition is already doing it. And by not embarking on digital transformation, or let's not even go that far to talk about digital transformation, by not digitizing, you're going to be left behind, right? You still need to keep your market share. You still have your ambitions to increase your market share. So you have no choice. Let's move on to the next slide and see what this digital transformation is all about. This is new buzzword that's been going around. Digital transformation means different things to different people. So just looking at what Wikipedia, everybody goes to Wikipedia nowadays, let's see what they have defined digital transformation as. It's the adoption of digital technology to transform services of businesses through replacing non-digital or manual processes with digital processes. Or sometimes you may be replacing old digital technology with the new digital technology. So here we are looking into digital technology. That's what digital transformation, but it actually goes beyond that. There's another definition here from Enterprises Project. Don't mind if I read it out. I know everybody can read it on the screen, but just to emphasize, it's the integration of digital technology into all areas of a business, fundamentally changing how you operate and deliver value to customers. This is where the stress is. At the end of the day, why you do things in your business is to deliver value to customers. Now, of course, I'm talking about profit organizations, revenue organizations. For those non-profit organizations, then I would replace the word value to customers as value to your stakeholders. Very good example would be, let's say your organization may be UNICEF, whereby your sponsor is the United Nations. And how about your stakeholders? Your stakeholders are all those people who are working in UNICEF and all the children of the world. So this is your stakeholders. And value, and this is where you'll be thinking about the value to your stakeholders. If you are WWF, this is World Wildlife Fund. I'm not talking about the wrestling guys, right? So the World Wildlife Fund. And who will be your stakeholders? This will be your sponsors. This will be all your contractors, right? So think about that. Right, let's move on to the next slide. And we look into areas of digitization, and the three key areas that we are looking at, right, will be your customer experience, obviously, because this is where this is the why you are digitizing, because it's for your customers, right? Operational processes. These are the operational processes where you would be able to shortcut it, maybe even eliminate, as I mentioned earlier in the previous slide, eliminate the manual processes. Very good example. Say, for example, I've been involved over my 35 years of experience, and one very key area would be order amendments. Order amendments in the sense that the customer has already placed an order, and there will be amendments along the way. For a traditional, if I may use the word old-fashioned company, order amendments would mean, wow, I've got to change this, I've got to change that, right? But think about automating an order amendment. Supposing the customer were to come back with an order amendment and say, instead of delivering to site A, can you please deliver to my warehouse B instead? So by just putting in what the company wishes for, everything changes from your pick list, from how you deliver your logistical planning, everything would be changed immediately. So this is something that can be automated, right? Another key area would be your business models. Very, very good example. Look at what has happened to the brick and mortar shops. They are slowly being replaced by online shops. Now, I've got a friend who visited South Korea, right? Okay, this was before the COVID-19 pandemic. Right, she came back and she mentioned to me, she was on a train and she noticed a lot of passengers were on the handphone, frantically typing away. And she realized, of course, when she asked some of them, they were actually ordering their groceries while they are on the train. When they stopped at the train station, they got off, went over to a kiosk, collect the groceries which they ordered while they are on the train, and off they go. Everything is done. What has happened to the brick and mortar shop? Irrelevant. It has become irrelevant. So people, ladies and gentlemen, think about your business models. Think about how digitization would have impacted the way you're doing your business. I've got many examples, but I'm afraid I don't have time to share everything with you. There are other areas of importance when it comes to digitization, your HR payroll, your training. And okay, maybe I'll just elaborate slightly a little bit about your training. Training in the sense of your employees, you yourself. More important, of course, your employees, because training is very important to ensure the level of competency is being kept, right? It is also important for their career path at the same time. And training, traditionally, what happens is you organize a training, you bring your human resources from all over the country and sometimes even from outside of Malaysia over here. And you have got to, what do you need to do? You have got to organize, besides the training course, besides the instructors, you have to organize a hall, whether it be in your office or whether you need to rent a hall outside. You've got to arrange for food, right? Everybody expects the company to arrange for the food. How about accommodation? Now, with online training, think about e-learning management systems. Just think about that. Okay. Let's move on to the next slide and let's look at the how-to. How-to, if you were to talk to different consultants, let's say we go to KPMG. You go to any of the big five. Let's not. I'm sorry to advertise just one company, but let's say you go to any of the big five. They will have their own methodologies, but all of them have got commonalities, right? And these are the steps that we look at. Objective statement, where you state your ambition, where you identify your ambition. You design, you deliver, you scale, right? You refine, and it goes back again. I would like to mention at this moment, and I've always believed, right, that digital transformation, DT, as I like to call it, is a journey. It is not a project whereby there's an endpoint. Everybody signs off on a project and that's it, it gets done. Right, let's cover each and every of these points slightly a little bit in detail. Let's move on to the next slide. Objective statement, this is where you as an organization, the top management, define your strategy, and this is where you create your interest. This is where you create your excitement. You will also articulate, not just only defining, but you also need to articulate that digital strategy to create that excitement in your organization. You will need to assess the business readiness for digital transformation. Now, a lot of organizations, they feel, well, I'm not ready yet, so why should I go on this DT journey? No. People, you have got to put that readiness as part of your digital transformation then. So identify the organization's goals. You need to create that communication strategy, because at the end of the day, every project that you get involved with, communication is very, very important. Just a quick question. You may also need to engage a change management specialist. Why? The digital transformation is talking about change, right? And change is not just a simple matter of, hey guys, you guys have better change, otherwise you're out of the door. No, there has got to be a change strategy. You want to be able to keep your current human resources, and you want to be able to emphasize to them that digital transformation is a paradigm shift. Right, let's move on to the next slide and look at what design is all about. This is where you start to evaluate the technologies available. Well, you can dream, but beaming technology, Star Trek, I mean, if you're a fan of Star Trek, right, it's currently not available. So you still have got to keep within the confines of the current technology. Identify, create, build out new business and revenue models. I mentioned about the irrelevance of brick and mortar shops earlier on, but how about your business? Look about it. Think about strategic partnerships, right? Think about emerging customer trends, needs, your customers' desires. Compare your incumbent processes against future processes. But what do you know about future processes? And this is where you may want to incentivize your staff, your other human resources to come up with new ideas. Look at how they are doing things right now. Ask them, how would you want to make your job easier? So these are areas, right, that you would need to communicate down to your staff, your human resources. And at all times, people always ensure the viability of your ideas. Like I mentioned earlier, beaming technology is not here yet. So there could be other ways and areas in which how you deliver your goods. Think about technology in terms of proof of delivery. Think about route management and how this will be integrated to your ERP software. Right, let's move on to the next slide. Delivery. Delivery in terms of ensuring your plans go out. This is part and parcel of a project management. You've got to track the mindset at all times. Ladies and gentlemen, at all times, track the mindset of the human resources, all the stakeholders. And it's not just only your human resources, not only your staff. How about your own mindset? Always bring back to your goals of what DT is all about for your organization. And the continuous training, that continuous reminders to everybody that, look guys, let's go digital. Think digital, think improvement, right? Think of ways how you can do business better, faster, and deliver faster, right? So, reminder also, the hold down has got to be a top-down approach. From the top level management all the way down to the lowest staff, right? And that means managing your vendors and your contractors, your ERP, your enterprise service provider, the contractors and the subcontractors. Always ensure that they are always aligned to what you hope to achieve, right? Keep receiving your feedback, redesign as necessary. However, your strategic objectives cannot be changed, okay? Let's move on to the next point, which will be establish KPIs, track and monitor at all times, all right? And scaling. Scaling means making sure that what they have done is properly assessed, right? Monitor the usage by the stakeholders, by your customers. Are they into your technology? For example, you may even open up to some of your suppliers. I'll just give a very good example, whereby they will be able to log in. When you issue out a purchase order, for example, if you're into all this, right, your suppliers would automatically be notified, right? And they would be able to log into your portal and be able to notify you when the goods have already are on the way to you, when the invoice are on the way to you, or if there's any other information. Say, for example, there is a purchase prepayment, or what most people know as a purchase deposit. Has that been paid? Would that be required? So these are areas that we're looking at when we're talking about digitization, right? And always assess the changes. You see, at this point, we are looking at assessing. And a reminder again that DT from the previous slide, digital transformation is always a top-down approach. Top management must adapt and adopt the changes. How about the stakeholders? Okay, let's move on. Refining. Yes, good. Everything has gone up. But once the assessment has come in, optimizing, re-evaluation, that's very, very key. Keep yourself up to date with new technologies, because as time goes on, new technologies come in. 12 years ago, 13 years ago, when cloud technology wasn't there, everybody now has got what they call SaaS, right? Cloud. The cloud is there, and cloud is only one point of digital transformation, and it may not necessarily work for you. Okay, so again, you have got to assess, monitor the environment at all times, and again, what is the impact to your digital ambitions, what you actually hope to achieve. Evaluate the impact of your digital business transformation on your whole organization, your customers, your industry, right? And where are you in terms of your market? Last but not least, ensure your organization must have the agility to reset strategy if and when necessary, and plans after reflecting on the transformation. the whole thing is a journey, ladies and gentlemen. It is a journey. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay, where it talks about digital transformation is a journey. This is something which never ends, right? You're going on and on. And the results normally take at least about 3 years before you could see anything. And be flexible, people, be flexible. New technologies are coming up, new innovations, and there are always changing factors, right? This pandemic has changed a lot of factors, as what Ms. Lydia Bing has mentioned. The way business offices are now being managed, the way travel is now being managed, the way education is now being managed. So these changing factors, and you must have that flexibility to be able to adapt, right? And not only adapt, but to adopt these new technologies into your venture, right? I'd like to end at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, a very thank you for allowing me to share with you what digital transformation is all about. Should you have any questions, please feel free to ask us. And V1 Solutions as well would have the ability as well to assist you on this digital transformation journey. At this point, I'd like to pass back to our MC, Mr. Justin.
All right, thank you, Mr. Eugene, for the insightful sharing on digital transformation in this new norm, or even whatever norm there will be in the coming years. Right. This moment, I would like to remind you all that you can use the chat box to type in your questions. There will be a Q&A sessions at the end of this event, and we will get our panelists to answer any of your questions. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest of honor for today's virtual event, Dr. Engineer Chong Hon Len. Dr. Engineer Chong is currently the president of Federation of Sabah Industries, and today Dr. will be sharing with us his opinion on getting ready with the new norm. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Engineer Chong Hon Len.
Sorry ครับ Okay, need to sit a bit. Okay. Thank you for the kind introduction, Mr. Justin, our moderator. And good morning once again to fellow participants. First of all, I'd like to apologize for the small hiccup. I'm supposed to be here to deliver an opening remark. I think it's now both opening and closing. Okay. First of all, I would like to thank Ms. Lydia Bay, the founder and CEO of V1 Solution, for giving me this opportunity to deliver a remark on the auspicious occasion of their How to Get Ready for the New Norm forum over the internet. I would like to start by declaring that the digital economy has already arrived, being accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Recently, when I attended the second China International Conference on TVET program organized by Shenzhen Polytechnic, one of the largest polytechnic in China, I was informed that 80% of firms in developed country are already engaging in some form of automation, and it is expected that 85 million jobs will be lost in the next 5 years, and of course, new kind of job will be created by this transformation, commonly referred to as IR4 transformation. At this juncture, I would like to share with you very briefly on how the various industrial revolution had impacted on the world economy in terms of GDP per capita from the year 2000 BC to 2000 AD. On the chart, In the right, you can see that for the first almost 3,800 years, the GDP per capita of the world was relatively flat. This indicated that there was basically no productivity growth in the agrarian economy, as GDP and population growth were almost in equilibrium. And the wealth generated then was mostly invested in non-productive assets like castles and monumental building to glorify the landlords and the emperors. It was not until the 19th century that the invention of the spinning wheel and the steam engine, being termed as the beginning of the first industrial revolution, which increased the GDP per capita of the world by threefolds. The second industrial revolution were driven by the invention of electricity, telegraph, and automobile, which has contributed to a 30-fold increase on the GDP per capita of the world, achieved through industry expansion, job creation, and urbanization being the most significant. The third industrial revolution, signified by desktop computers and information technology, had revolutionized the look and operations of offices and factories, but did not offer significant economic growth, as it had resulted in the creation of some higher skill and better paid jobs, but offset by losses of more lower skill and less well-paid jobs. The fourth industrial revolution has been described as to be characterized by merging technology that will blur the lines between physical, digital, and biological spheres, and could potentially uproot industry all over the world. The extent and depth of these changes are signs of transformation to the entire production, management, governance, and education system, which will affect everyone. At the moment, there is no data to prove that whether IR4 will result in an increase in the world GDP per capita or decreases. But it is expected that there will be a shift in terms of investment toward capital rather than labor. Some people speculated that there will be a big displacement of labor in favor of machine or robots, while others think that human and intelligent machine can complement each other or coexist. Next slide, please. Next, I would like to share with you on the status of Malaysia in terms of automation. From the chart on the left, you can see that there is a big gap between developed, developing, and undeveloped countries on the rate of automation adaptation. Malaysia actually fared quite well among the developing country category, behind Thailand. The chart on the right shows that communication equipment, automotive, and semiconductor sectors have the highest adoption rate in terms of robotic density per 1,000 employees. Next slide. In Malaysia, the Ministry of Trade and Industry has chosen automotive as a key driver to spearhead the country automation and artificial intelligence program, and MARI, which stands for Malaysia Automotive, Robotic, and Internet of Things Institute, was set up to undertake the task of preparing the country for the digital economy. The choice of selecting automotive seems clear, as car is an ideal product to integrate the subjects of automation, robotic, and Internet of Things all in one. Next slide. As far as the state of Sabah is concerned, it is heartening to learn that KKIP Sdn Bhd has taken the initiative to set up an aerospace training center for aircraft maintenance with the will to venture into production of aircraft components and parts using IR4 technology in the near future. An auto city within the Kota Kinabalu Industrial Park has also been planned to complement MARI's effort in using automotive industry to spearhead the nation IR4 transformation program. At the same time, we have also been informed that some companies in Sabah have already started to automate their business and manufacturing processes, while others are at the various stages of carrying out technical feasibility study and digitizing the operation to upgrade their business and manufacturing processes. I'm pleased to inform those who are contemplating to automate your business and manufacturing process to contact V1 Solution immediately if you need any assistance in this area. Besides, I think the presenter, Ms. Pei and Mr. Eugene Nam has already explained to you the benefits and the needs for going towards automation. Apart from that, MITI has also provided very generous grant for companies who wish to carry out automation. Next slide. For those on the job category, you may be interested to know the priority sectors, the skill in demands, and jobs opportunity in IR4 as listed on the table in this slide. I think it's quite visible that digital literacy cut through the 4 sectors which is being promoted by our government. Slide, next one. As for Sabah, the relevant sectors will be slightly different. We think that it will still be based on our area of comparative advantage like agriculture, resource-based industry, and commerce. The skill required are digital literacy, product development, manufacturing operation, creativities, marketing, project management, negotiation, and leadership. The challenges next slide please. The challenges we are facing are that we have been slow in embracing technological changes here in Sabah, and our communication infrastructures and education system are below the standard required to support IR4 transformation. The vision of building a digital economy for the state remain unclear at the moment. We hope things will improve as we go along. Thank you for your attention.
All right, thank you, Dato'. What an insightful and informative sharing by you, Dato'. Especially on facing the new norm and also on the impacts of industrial revolution and how we should prepare ourselves moving forward with the 4th industrial revolution. Once again, big thank you, Dato'. So now, as we already done with all our speakers, right? As our guest of honor just arrived. So I would like to invite everybody to turn on their videos one more time so we can get another group photo together with our guest of honor today. Stop sharing. So many handsome and beautiful people today. Right? Maybe the rest can join us in the group photo by turning on their cameras. All right, we're gonna give another 1 minute before we take a group photo for you guys to prepare now. All right. Let's give it a few another few seconds. Is everyone ready with the group photo? Calling once. I'm just playing. Okay, we're gonna have the group photo. Huh? Don't forget to smile. In 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you for organizing this.
Okay, so now I would like to bring everyone's attention to the Q&A session. We'd like to open the floor to anybody who have any questions. You can turn on your mics directly and speak up and ask the questions. You may also directly point your questions to our panelists, which is Mr. Eugene Lam, Dato Engineer Chong, and also Ms. Lydia Bear. So I open the floor for anyone to turn on their mics and speak up. Or you can also drop your questions inside the chat box. No. Okay, I just received one question from the chat box. What are the time frame for an organizations to move to digital transformation?
Right.
Can I throw this question?
Oh, yes, of course.
Can I throw this question to maybe Mr. Eugene?
Yeah, hi. Right, I heard that there is the word digital transformation is there. So the question again is, what is a time frame? There is generally no time frame, but what we can actually infer from here is that digital transformation, as I mentioned earlier, is a journey. You're not going to achieve digital transformation tomorrow. Okay, that's rather a bit unreasonable. Let's say you want to achieve it in 6 months. I would say no, we are looking at a minimum of 3 years to achieve digital transformation. But when you break up the digital transformation into component areas, certain component areas can be achieved faster than others. I'll just give you a very quick example. Say for example, you may want to look into your stock inventory. You may want to look at technology available. Very quickly, I can think about barcoding. So if you want to start a barcode project, right, which is part of your digital transformation journey, a barcode project can take anywhere within duration of 1 month, depending on the number of processes you have, to round about 6 months. So there you go. Very quickly, 1 month, a small component of your digital transformation journey may have been completed. Right? I hope that answers your question.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Eugene. I have another question here inside the chat box. What are the foreseen roadblocks when moving to digital transformation? So the question is, the second question is also about digital transformation. So I guess I'm going to throw this to you or maybe other panelists.
Well, let's see whether the others would like to try before I take it up.
Hey, Mr.
I would like, yeah, Dato want to take this question?
No.
Okay.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
I think I would like to share from my experience and my perspective. I think the biggest challenge is a human factor. Okay, now normally when we implement a ERP solution, one project can pick a goes up successfully, but not the other one. Now oftentimes it's a human factor because the implementation take two hands to clap. Yeah, so basically you want to make sure your customer is ready and we also ready, and oftentimes customer themselves delay. So that is why earlier I talked about the fast track, So ERP implementation oftentimes will take 9 months or even more. Yeah. But however, today we take a different turnaround. We give the proven template. We give the proven process, and we want our customer to be up their system maybe in 45 days. Then later on, after that, we take them for a journey for optimization. Because when you buy an ERP solution, is to make sure that you don't make mistake. This solution is connected from production department to sales department to your project department to your financial department. So they are integrated and they are connected everywhere. And the process has to be deployed down. But sometimes as we go around to implement this, sometimes we also have the first thing is pilot project, where we say the pilot project, we look at their human factor. Is these people, are very forward looking or not? So I would say the biggest challenge here is human factor. But of course, throughout all this year, we identified that, that is why sometimes you even some like the big five say, let's change their mind of thinking. They call it process re-engineering or something like, So to me, frankly, having selected the best solution, the best vendor, the product team, then the rest is the customer team. Everybody is a stakeholder in this case, and they must be ready. So normally there is like a project organization, and everybody know their responsibility, and whenever there is a change along the way, go through the change organization committee, because if you keep changing, you will never get it implemented. So now the key thing is, what is important, the 80% get it implemented. The balance 20%, you can optimize it at a later stage. So in a nutshell, to me, human factor is a bigger challenge in an ERP implementation. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Lydia. I have another question here. Where should businesses start with business transformation? There's the word transformation there, but I'm not sure this one is for Eugene. So, any panelists want to answer this question? Where should businesses start with business transformation?
Eugene here. I will pick it up. I suspect that the questioner was probably asking about when should businesses start with digital transformation. Now, digital transformation, as I mentioned earlier on, means different things to many people. And this is where the business will need to be able to identify, right now, which are the key areas where digital transformation should take. It is not for me to say generally for every organization where it should take, but the particular individual business should look and see what are the key areas that they may need to look at digital transformation. Most probably it could be in the area of their business processes. So this is where there are already technologies and software out there. They're called ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning Software. That would probably be key. I'm not saying that it must, all right? For some others, they may be looking into organizing their sales. So they may be looking into a Salesforce automation kind of software, right? Which is what the buzzword right now is CRM. So it depends. So every business will need to reflect on its own business priorities. Okay.
I want to add some things.
Oh yeah,
So
sure.
just like
Go on then.
Mr. Eugene said, it depends on which business area you are in. More particular to talk about the manufacturing process. Because if you want to automate your manufacturing process, not all the factories have one standard form of production. So you normally need to start by digitizing your process. Okay. So that's why actually a lot of grant and solution is being provided. But first, a lot of things depends on localized data. Especially in the case of Sabah, our agriculture sectors need a lot more digital transformation because you have to, let's say, fly your drone to get the data of your land, how your topography will look like. That kind of solution is to be on site and in situ. That is more concerning agriculture and manufacturing sectors. In fact, this transformation you don't have to start because even IR2 technology can still be used, but with customizations and a bit of digital control that can be mixed and matched. So good to approach a consultant like we want for more detailed discussion now. After all, they can package everything for you, including getting the fund. A lot of fund and grant are available by the government. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Oh,
Thank you.
I heard that you mentioned about the grant, right, given by the government. Maybe one of our panelists can elaborate on the grant.
Can I add that on
Yes,
the
sure, Miss
grant?
May. Yes.
Yeah, there are so many matching grant that is being announced by the government today, and as far as I know, so far there's only 30 organizations, especially in the West Malaysia benefited. I also have tried to research more as how we can support some of the organization here to help them to align with this and how can we take advantage of the matching grant. But what I understand is normally there's two part of it, the business proposal and the technical proposal. So the business proposal has to be take charge by the client himself and we'll support them with the technical proposal. Being technology solution provider, we are the enabler. But how you want to achieve in your business projection, the figure and so on, you have to take charge and we will support in terms of the how we actually enable this thing to happen. And of course, putting things together, you still have to submit to the relevant party. And currently, I'm actually registered myself as a mentor. And I'm able to support and give information, although it's not official until it's approved. Yeah, so our company and myself are actually in the register and to become a panelist. So we can support more of our East Malaysian customer and advise them. But bear in mind that there are two portions to it. The business part, our customer need to take charge. But the technical part, we will support. We will enable you to make it happen in terms of your business projection. So putting things together, and I think next year, hopefully, there will be some fund that is, able to release to our East Malaysia market here. Yeah, because I think we all mentioned that manufacturing is a driving force in Malaysia, the economy. The next 5%, we see that the biggest driving factor is actually come from the manufacturing. And if our East Malaysia client are able to take this offer given by our Malaysian government, whether it's West or East, if we can do that and V1 Solution as a technology solution provider and enabler, we are very happy to sit down and discuss more with you and to make that happen. Thank you. That's
All right. Thank you, Ms. Lydia. for the answer just now. I think we're almost done with the Q&A session, but I just would like to check with the floor if anybody else want to ask any questions.
If no question, I just think, can I just add another small sharing?
Oh,
This
okay.
this digitization and automation need not be exclusively to the big or medium industry. In fact, small and cottage industry also can make use of the technology to improve your productivities, your product qualities. You see, just on my thought, a simple one is that right, the roasting of coffee bean. The barista normally have to test the bean and roast it and take the temperature, the humidity, and then they have to calibrate how brown the bean they want to be roasted. I was told that good barista will typically have to roast 10 times of the bean and select the best batch. But if you are able to uh, take all the variables, digitize it, then actually you can actually run a routine of the machine itself will be able to adjust how much time to roast, what sort of heat to put in based on the data you put in. Like for example, how dry is the bean, what is the humidities for the day. In fact, that self-showed that directly there is a lot of optimization and quality improvement now. Just sharing only now. They're not limited to big and small firm, but small cottage company also can leverage on this new technology. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. for the extra insight. Right. I think we are done, pretty much done with the Q&A sessions. So we are almost there with this event. I just would like to invite all the participants to participate in this polling. Is this actually a feedback form? So I'm going to start the polling now. So just try to answer now. You can see it on your screen now. Just kindly answer the polls.
Let's click on it. I know where are you. Oh.
A few more seconds. Okay, I'm going to end the polling now. Okay, everybody. Once again, thank you. We are truly delighted that you joined our event for today. And hopefully that you would join any of us upcoming events. And once again, sorry for the delay because of technical difficulties that we face. And hope you have a great day for today. And also always be ready for the new norm and the next norm. Thank you, everybody.